All right, welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. This is episode number 20. So that would be, well, we did miss last week. So that would be, what, almost 40 weeks of podcast? The pod. June? I think it was June-ish. That would make sense. So, yeah, sorry about last week. We upgraded a board, then degraded a board, and then it was just a disaster, and I just couldn't pull I'm not kidding you, man. I was crazy. Like, I was hitting my head on the table. Like, I was so frustrated. I'm like, I can't record tonight. It's just going to be absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. So, sorry about that. And, of course, well, we're not live streaming. Not that anyone cares that listen to this. But, so, yeah, I heard from Justin. He listened to the last episode. He really liked it. So,
really?
I mean, he's kind of a super fan. It's interesting with Justin because I wouldn't, and this is nothing against Justin, and maybe he would say that about me if he was recording this podcast. I wouldn't expect him to like it. Yeah. But maybe because he knows us, he gets to see a deeper side of us.
Yeah, so he would listen to the one with Brandy?
Yeah, he actually went back and re-listened to the one before that because he was listening to it before, but like sporadically, and he lost focus, which is true. If you listen to it for like 10 minutes and then go back a couple days later, you're like, wait, what were they talking about? And since we only scratched the surface, I mean,
because that's all we
according to Megan. So yeah, it's we're going to be back. Would be Tuesday night. We finally got this together. So this is going to be
we even rescheduled today a little bit.
We did.
I was like, I'll just come over after work because I'm halfway here.
Right. And at first I was like, no, that's dumb. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. He is always halfway here. I'm just going to, that's why I was like, all right, I'll call you. We'll just get it done. Yep. And then you're like, I got to go home. And I literally, even though I said LOL, I did laugh out loud.
Awesome.
Because I was like, this is hilarious.
It was totally hilarious.
I think we both were like, we couldn't give each other crap because we were both canceling left and right. So
it's true. But here we are.
Finally,
with episode 20. Right.
Do you want to introduce of what we're going to do today a little bit?
Yeah. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to start knitting. And you always give me that look like, what are you talking about?
See, that's where
throws me.
That's where the live camera comes in good. But
yes, we are going to be knitting. Knitting the I think we're going to do some commemorative t-shirts.
Yeah.
To commemorate, I don't know if that's the right word, episode 20.
Okay.
Because everybody needs a t-shirt.
I think we should have some excitement when we actually, we could be close to, and it makes me want to check since I have my computer in front of me. We could be close to 1,000 downloads.
That is pretty huge.
Yeah, I'm going to be annoying and check.
We are getting more listens, which is cool. And people are subscribing, and we've got some really cool stuff in the works that probably don't want to talk about just yet, but
we can talk about it.
Oh, well. I
mean, we're going to spend some money on advertising.
Yes. Very strategic advertising.
I hope so. Oh, we're at 982.
Ooh, almost
Damn,
there.
It's a slow climb, isn't it? I swear we were at 949 like a month ago. But the stats are kind of cool. Like the last 30 days, 138. The last 10 days, 10. And yesterday, 3.
Really? And we didn't release any new content.
But here's the thing. I wonder what those stats mean. Like, because now I've heard that, or Podbean says they're taking Spotify and introducing, it's not going to be a separate stat line.
Okay.
So, but does 3 listens mean they listen to the whole thing, or they just hit play and like, this is garbage?
Yeah.
On. Yeah, exactly. Like although I haven't done that too many times. I usually try to give a podcast, if it's a new one, I go right in the middle of their episodes and listen to one, because if you listen to the first one, it's going to be garbage.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. You got to start somewhere,
right? So thank you for that knitting update.
Of course.
What are we really going to do today?
We're going to take our normal format and throw it out the window.
Sort of.
No.
Well, don't we do a personal update?
I guess so, but that's about all we have.
True.
So Jason was saying that he didn't like my format.
False. False.
Fake news.
I said that. I don't know. I wanted to change it up a little bit. And Ben came up with, the internet came up with it, yes. But it's still cool. cool idea.
It will be. Yeah. So instead of having the normal segments, other than our personal update, we'll still do that. But instead of doing the normal segments, we're going to be kind of tapping into some questions. I don't know how to describe it best.
I mean, we're going to do some news.
It's like writing prompts almost.
Yeah.
Like there was this website that listed out potential podcast topics.
Right.
So I was like, that might be a little cheesy, but maybe not. So took some of their ideas and we're just going to take some time and talk about news, talk about some musicians that we're into, things like that. So it'll be a little bit of everything in this episode. And we're just trying a couple different tweaks to our format, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a role out there somewhere for somebody to listen to podcasts and give feedback. Like, does this format sound good? What do you think? Because I'm like, we're just kind of like, I mean, I like the format that we do, but I also like the Brandy one.
Yeah, that
whereas
was
like
so
just the long
open.
form, just a long interview about just general things and what pops off in their head and stuff, and it's good conversation. And I think when you have somebody good like that, everyone else feeds off each other, so you just have a great conversation. So like my buddy Dave, my financial advisor, Megan sent the article. He did you read that email I forwarded to you, or did you never read it? Be honest.
Parts of it, like I started reading it, but
it was pretty lengthy.
It was lengthy.
Well, I told him that we're recording. I don't know if you'll be available or not. It's the week of the 30th, but
okay.
He's just to give is it a precursor to that? His church just approved membership for LGBTQ.
Interesting.
So, and they just had
what type of church? You know,
it's an RCA church.
Really?
I think.
Wow.
And they just had one of the married women baptize their kids.
Wow.
So this was like hit him spot on.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
He wants to come on and talk about that. But what I'm saying about that is just like it just strikes up conversation. It's not just me and you. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But it's good to have someone else in here to be kind of challenge us or us challenge them. So
absolutely.
So what about you? What's been up with you the last 3 weeks?
Yeah. Well, I brought with me, I'd show the camera, but there is no camera today. The sermon notes from my church. Pretty cool because this bulletin was printed on equipment that I sold my church. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yes.
But we've been doing a series in church about outreach and about building bridges in our community. And it was just really good. Like it kind of it's been sticking with me. It was like a 3-week series and it's just been top of mind for me. I know it's a little churchy and we're already jumping into churchiness, we talked about being Jesus, and our church's mission statement is knowing Jesus, being Jesus. So we want to know him, and then we want to go out and be him to our community and to those around us. So we have a new outreach pastor, and he did this phenomenal series. Like he created an island on the stage, complete with sand, an inflatable palm tree, and like this tinfoil stuff to reflect the light from the stage. Super creative. And then he had sunglasses on, and he was just talking about how knowing Jesus can be like an island. Like it's pretty great, but you have to leave the island and you need to bring people back to the island. So I'm not really doing it justice, but just the whole concept and the building bridges that he talked about. There were a couple sentences that I wrote down based on what was shared. I will fix what's broken consistently, persistently, relationally, by, and then there's a question mark. And then another one, I will share the truth. I will rewrite the narrative. Just really deep stuff about how we can change, change the way that Christianity is seen in the world. and be better Jesus followers, really.
Stewards. That's such a church word, isn't it?
It is. But, rewrite the narrative. I love that idea. It's basically taking what people think they know about Christianity and rewriting it and showing them something different, and showing them that we actually do care about them.
But isn't that what Christianity is about? So why do you have to rewrite it?
Because not everybody sees Christianity as something they want to take part in.
Right.
So,
you mean as non-Christians?
Yeah. I mean, not everybody wants to. So it's, rewriting the narrative could be rewriting the way that Christians are seen in the world. It could also be rewriting people's own personal narratives of brokenness and hopelessness, helping them walk away from that and rewriting their story to a story of hope.
Yeah.
So I guess what really stood out to me is just the idea of consistent and persistent. I am not a super consistent person. Did you know that about me?
You ebb and flow with things.
I do.
mean, are you still going to the gym?
Nope.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. And thanks for being honest on that. And it's tough, man. Consistency is super hard.
I will say I have been consistent in logging every meal in my new map.
Even the crappy ones?
Even the crappy ones.
Those are always tough.
It takes me a day or two to be like, fine, I'll log it. And I've also logged my weight every morning.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm building consistency, but it's not natural. So one of the concepts we talked about is how outreach and, showing people Jesus and reaching out to the hurt and the broken and helping them rewrite their story. It can't just be a one-time tsunami type thing. But for so many churches, that's what they do. It's like, we're going to go on this huge mission trip and we're going to reach the lost. And then it's just a tsunami that comes and goes. Our pastor put it as we need to be like a groundswell versus a tsunami. A groundswell being like the tide, but just consistently, day in, day out, tide comes in, tide comes out. And it's consistent and persistent. And that's the way that we should be living our lives and showing our faith to those around us. Not in some huge flashy tsunami, but just in the everyday consistency.
So I'm going to challenge you on that. You had this great sermon, you're fired up, and then what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You want to know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. And this is like the build up to what I'm really excited about. So at the end of the sermon series, our pastor basically said, we're open to new ideas. We're open to innovating. And he basically said that 80% of the funds that come in for missions or for outreach, 80% of those will go to invest in the ministries that we already have going. But then he said, we're going to earmark 20% of the funds that come in to not necessarily invest, but to innovate. And to form new partnerships. And I was getting so geeked when I heard that. I'm like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I can get UTM supported by my church. And so sure enough, we're getting lunch with the outreach pastor on Thursday.
Okay.
And so here's a way that we can build a bridge from my church to the ministry that I serve on the board for, and helping both of them build bridges into the urban community around Grand Rapids. So
that's super cool.
Yeah. So it's like, that's something I'm already doing. And now I get to invite my church along with me on that journey. And so that's one way that I'm living that out. And then I had a really, really good conversation. I think it was last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago with a customer at St. Anne's Home. My goodness. I took a new rep with me to go visit some current clients just so he could get a taste for, the work that we do.
Yeah.
And, the gal who's the CFO at St. Anne's Home, she just started raving about how excellent my customer service was, how awesome I was, and how well I handled their situation and gave them a solution that was far less expensive, and just talking about how rough things were with their previous vendor and how Ben came in and Nordic was able to help save them money and just provide an amazing solution. And she's just going on and on and on. And I'm kind of feeling embarrassed. Like,
that's a little weird.
Whoa, I wasn't. And this lady, she'll admit it. She is like cutthroat. She is your very typical, C-suite executive. Like, she's all business.
Yeah.
And she's just going on and on about how awesome it's been to work with me. And I just was like, wow.
Who is this? Like, I know I'm saying, like, in my head, like, who is this lady? If she's so cutthroat, why is she, like, gushing on me?
I know, right? But yeah, she does a very good job at her.
So she's cutthroat when it comes to pennies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also dealing with salespeople.
Right.
Like, it took me a while to get in touch with her. Like, I went around her. So the running joke is, when she finally called me back, she said, point blank, "Hi, Ben. This is Joni with St. Anne's Home. And you have reached out to every other person in the organization except for me. And I'm the one you need to talk to."
Interesting.
So I just was kind of stunned for a minute. Like, who talks that directly on a phone call?
She's kind of a badass.
And then I was like, well, yeah, I guess I'm talking to you now. So how's your day going? And I just tried to be super friendly with her.
Yeah.
And from there, I won her over.
Wow.
So all that to say, that conversation just kind of revealed to me, yes, I'm just working in sales, selling copy machines, but the way I do things and the way I carry myself and the way I look out for my customers, that's an opportunity to share my faith. Maybe not necessarily by talking about it. It's not like I'm going to go in and start preaching to them, but there's so many vendors out there that are slimy and that their only interest is in the bottom line and making as much money as they can for their company. I don't take that approach.
Right.
And people see that.
I see it just as when I have someone that's a good salesman, you can just tell they're not high pressure.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's amazing.
So it gives me an opportunity to be a light, I guess. So that's another way that I can build bridges as well on a consistent basis. So it's not even necessarily doing anything new. It's just, I guess, approaching things with a different focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's not very often that I'm able to, every once in a while, and someone will say something about you, like, are you a Christian or something like that? I'm like, or do you believe in Jesus? Like, yeah, I do. And like, that's the end of, or whatever it is. But it is weird how conservative and churchy we are around here, but no one brings it up because everyone, I mean, now clearly everyone isn't Christian, but I don't ever get that opportunity. So I like how you kind of, I'm not saying you spun that one, but you're like, it just, I mean, I feel like I'm trying just to be on the flip side. So it's not cutting on you, but I feel like an atheist can do the same thing you're doing. True. They're just being nice, they're just, and so, but I still think generally Christian people are nicer.
Yeah. And I couldn't tell you where exactly in the Bible it says this, and I probably should know, but
you should, because you're like, I don't want to say former pastor, but
well, I am. It says to always be prepared to give an answer for your faith, for the reason you have hope,
right?
And so I think that's the whole thing. Like, yes, an atheist can do the same thing, but he's not going to have the answer that I have. And if I'm prepared to share the reason why, like, that's the difference maker. And I met with that same CFO a week later, just for a regularly scheduled account review check-in meeting.
Right.
And I just said, thank you for your affirmation. That really meant a lot to me. And I kind of went out on a limb and I just said, as a Christian and as, I said, not just as a sales rep, but also as a Christian, this is the way I strive to live my life. And I was very encouraged by your words. And she then took the opportunity to say, well, you're doing a fine job of being a light in the community. And I was like, huh. Awesome.
And then you just leave it at that, right?
Yeah. And then we had a little bit more conversation. And turns out she's also a believer. Okay. Which I kind of expected, being that it's St. Anne's home.
Right.
There's got to be some sort of faith aspect there.
Well, it's Catholic.
Yeah. So
we won't fault them for that.
Well, she's actually Lutheran.
Oh, really?
And she works at the Catholic.
Well, yeah. Of course you can. I mean, you can work at it there without being Catholic. That's interesting. This is a long update for you, by the way.
I know. It's not very common for me.
I know. One other thing I want to say, and I lost my train of thought. Oh, remember when you said that guy was praying? Can I pray for you? And you're weirded out. Yeah. Don't you think you saying like, well, as being no? I'm not saying it's weird. I think it's awesome. Like what you did, like whatever. If those are the exact words you said, you nailed it. But saying like, well, as being a Christian, blah blah blah. Don't you think it's
risky?
It's risky.
Yeah, I would agree.
Did you think in the back of your mind, ask if you wanted to pray with her?
No, I did not ask.
Why is that so weird? We really ripped that guy. I don't remember what we were talking about and who it was, but
well, it was because he didn't ask first.
Yes, that's right.
He just grabbed my hand and said, as if he was going to shake my hand, and then he just launched into this prayer.
That's the problem. Yeah, I've had people ask and of course I say yes. I mean, I'm not going to, but some people might.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So yeah, that was odd. And then I have asked a customer if I could pray with them. It was a church, so it was not like weird.
Right.
The secretary had just been diagnosed with brain cancer.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, man, I just don't know what to do right now. Do you mind if I pray for you?
That's perfect. Like, it would. I'm sure you were like, I mean, well, no, you're pastor. Yeah. But I mean, I would be nervous. But I think that if I would say that, I guarantee the Holy Spirit was in me, because that would be tough for me to say. So if I would have spit that out.
Yeah.
So, that's so sad.
So, yeah, that was hard.
I bet.
But anyway, that's my personal update.
Wow, mine's not as deep, but it's as traumatizing. I don't know. So, our little sweet girl, Avery, is 11, and she got her period. And
miracle's not far behind her.
Yeah, and according to Megan, which, she knows, she's into health and science, that it's body fat, something composition or whatever. And Avery's, she's beefy. She's got muscle and she just, she can get it done and it happens. So not a big deal. I felt so bad for her though. I go to put her to bed and I give her a kiss and, it's fine. And I come downstairs and Megan goes up and then I just hear sobbing. Like uncontrolled sobbing. So I'm like, so I give it like maybe 30 seconds and it's still going.
So you had no idea at this point?
No. So I run back upstairs. I'm like, what is going on? I don't want to tell you. And so I'm thinking, oh, great. Like I'm thinking someone touched her or, I'm like getting super anxious and she wouldn't tell me. She'd only tell Mag. And then I went downstairs and then I don't know. I felt that it was probably okay because I figured if Avery told her something like that within a minute, Megan would be like, Jason.
Yeah.
So it was okay. I felt bad for her because she had it with my mother-in-law and then didn't tell her. So then all day she was dealing with that by herself and then got home. And so that was kind of tough for her, but she seems to be fine with it now.
Good.
I mean, we haven't really talked about it yet, but I mean,
you
since
and her.
Yeah.
But
we're trying to be super open in our house about that stuff. Like I told Avery and Megan told her too, like, you can go to dad. Like dad buys my tampons and pads and whatever she needs. Like it's no big deal. And I told Avery, I'm like, it's no big deal. Yeah. It's just a part of life,
exactly.
So,
but when it's the first time, I'm sure that's traumatic.
Yeah. But after she rallied, we kind of talked about it a little bit and those kind of things. So The other flip side of that is with that coming on, there's hormones and things happening, and I don't know where it started, but we've ended up finding some inappropriate stuff online that she was looking at, and I found out like one of my filters wasn't working, and that's been really stressful. I'm doing the EMDR.
I just said it right the first time.
Okay. And I've had 2 sessions, and I'm not going to go into that right now or today, but I met with Heather yesterday. I'm like, I can't do this today. I have to talk about this. And so we spent the entire hour like trying to, I mean, you're going to hit this too. Like, how do you have a healthy conversation about sex to an 11-year-old? And this is our policy. Like, it's normal, it's cool, whatever, all that stuff. How do you do that in a healthy way without images or videos or whatever like that, or looking online? How do you do it? I have no idea. Like, I feel like it's part of my role to explain that to her, but also a lot of it's Megan, just because it's the girl thing. But I got to get some books. Like I told Heather, she's like, oh, I have a sex therapist friend. I will email her and she'll give me some books. But because you want to explain to them that, at least this is our belief. You may believe different or whatever, but it's normal. Everything's normal. Sex is normal. That's all that stuff. Being by yourself is normal, and that's all normal. But how do you explain that to her in the right way? So that's what I'm struggling with. I spent the whole hour talking about that, and just having the anxiousness of, maybe some things she may have seen that she can't unsee.
Yeah.
But before that happened, and then 2 days later we had the thing at church, and I wasn't going to go to. It's called Protect Young Eyes.
We had that same thing.
Did you?
Church. Yep.
I think they're local.
I believe they may be.
I think, and they're Christian, obviously, but I was like, oh, what a perfect opportunity. And it was for kids too. They went and did their own thing, and then the adults went and everything. But it really opened my eyes to the screens and how, they said there was 5 things. I know I'm jumping off, but there's 5 places that you don't want your kids to have screens. And I remembered 4 of them, but I don't remember the 5th. But one is in the bedroom. One is in the bathroom. One is on the bus. One is at kids' sleepovers. And I cannot remember the 5th. But so it kind of opened our eyes to be like, there's no more devices in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And even if they're just not going to do that kind of stuff when they're in the same room.
Would you allow your kids to have an Xbox in the bedroom?
I think I would, but depending on what kind of limits, I don't know. Depending on what kind of game they're playing.
Yeah, that's what we're up against, because we are putting an egress window in, and then Stefan's going to take over the basement bedroom, and he wants to put his Xbox in there.
Right.
We have it pretty locked down with parental controls, so I think I'm okay with that, but there's always that question of, is that the best idea?
Well, the problem with Xbox is, like, her text messages, we installed a Bark, so that monitors everything. They did say, though, if you're going to give your kid a phone, give them an Android phone, because it's much more, which we know, customizable, and they allow a ton more things. So Bark can really get inside all those apps. So Apple kind of locks that stuff down. Avery has an iPad mini now. It's not LTE or anything, but I definitely will be getting, as much as I hate to say it, I will be getting her an Android phone.
Victory!
But what I was saying is, like, Bark can read those text messages, right? Because they're actual, you can see them. But on Xbox, if he's chatting with somebody, is it? Sure, Xbox recording it. But how can you find out, other than Xbox saying, "Hey, he violated terms of service with this nasty language"?
It's only happened twice.
Well, it's only because someone reported them. Yeah. Some kid got pissed, and yeah. So I don't know. And you've had some issues with Stefan before. I think no. That's what my thought. If it was like smooth sailing, like nothing was going on, I'd be like, okay, I think you've earned that. Yep. But you've had some, that's my personal opinion. I'd say nope. You can play it down. You can play it in the basement. or you can play don't play it by me because I don't want to hear it. But
yeah.
But I mean, anytime you put the kids in around the parents, I think they're just going to behave better. And that's another thing we told Avery. We're like, we get it. You're curious. I understand that. And I still need to call Circle, which I haven't done tonight because I'm literally going to call them. I'm like, why did this get missed? Seriously? Like, I don't know what's going on, but I got to get the bottom of it. But in the meantime, I locked down her, she lost her iPad for a week. What I didn't say is not for looking at that stuff, but I had a conversation with her, installed Bark, and then 3 days later, I ran the scan, and it popped up. So she got punished for disobeying me, not the curiosity. I just want to make that clear. So
yeah, it's an important distinction.
Right. So, but I locked her iPad down. She can't have Safari anymore and the whole 9 yards. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have one daughter and 2 boys.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be a rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
We had our conference tonight. A student, a little bit struggling math, like a B+, but it was all about the social.
Stefan too.
Yeah. It's just man, I mean, she's doing okay. She's not being mean or anything, but she's having some issues on the playground. And I'm just like, oh man, this girl is going to be completely gray by the time she goes to college. So, but yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me. It's been a long week. And of course, Laugh Fest too. That's been so fun. I'm trying to get Gabe to do it. I'm trying to recruit everybody for next year, but
it's all volunteer. Right?
It is all volunteer. It was so funny. I've gotten offered tips twice from comedians, and I'm like, no, man, it's all volunteer. Go buy a cup of coffee with it. They're like, seriously? It's funny, these lower level comedians where they're not bottom rung, but they're down there. And we're driving around in Jaguars, and they're like, this is the best. They put them up in the JW.
Wow.
This is the best. So it's a cool thing, and it's for Gilda's Club.
Okay.
So, and a Gilda's Club, I better explain it if people don't know, is helps people grief counseling for cancer or just death, for the patient, the family, before, after, under, pretty much everything to do with cancer and or grieving death, they counsel through. So all free.
Yeah.
So
they're in my territory.
Are they?
I've stopped in a number of times.
Yeah?
I haven't gotten anywhere yet.
Who do they have?
Couldn't tell you.
You couldn't, yeah. Have you been into their office down there? It's insane how many people are in there in that little office.
Parking lot is always full too.
Yeah, I mean when we have 7 or 8 cars, we have to stack the cars at night, double, triple park them because that whole parking lot will fill up.
Wow.
So you ready to get?
Is at Gilda's?
The what?
So you're actually at Gilda's Club?
So we have a construction trailer that they bring in.
Okay.
That's got heat and we never have to use the AC, but it's got heat, and the transportation team, and they call it Grand Central Station, runs out of that.
Okay.
And then we do get merchandise from that office in there in the back by the elevators and stuff. Okay. But obviously all the events are at the Bob, the Pyramid Scheme, Wealthy Street Theater, all the DeVos Place.
Okay.
It's just a good time, good community of people, and for everyone being volunteer, except there are obviously paid staff. They do it all year round. It runs really good.
Yeah.
Usually when you get volunteer stuff, you're like, this is not good.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, all right, let's get in our topic since we're probably 30 minutes in of just our update, but it was good. It's good. I always say if the conversation's going good, let's just let it roll. So this first segment or part, we're going to talk about just some news, what's going on in the world, and just what caught our eye. And then after we get done with this, each of our wives had sent us an article that we'll kind of talk about. So most of them
Tyler sent me one too.
Did he?
Yep.
Most of these are just not videos, and we'll try to do our best. It's just to spark discussion. So first up, and it's we had these. Let's see, this was February 27th. We've had these for a while, but rescheduling. But this was a South Carolina man who was widely praised for buying $540 worth of Girl Scout cookies. Was arrested by the DEA on Tuesday. So let me see. I'm sure you saw it. The post went viral. He bought them all. He gave the girls 40 and told them to keep the change. Shortly after his initial purchase, he returned and told the girls to pack up everything they had, that he was going to buy everything so they could get out of the cold. Of course, there's a statement by the Girl Scouts. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was threatened. We had no reason to believe this man was anything than one of our valuable customers that is helping Girl Scout power awesome experience through Girl Scout cookie program. So I don't have the follow-up to this, but they did say that he literally was doing that to try to put some good graces in, because I'm guessing he knew he was going to get arrested, but it's a big charge. I mean, it's smuggling more than $1 million out of the United States. So, I mean, this is not going to be a slap on the wrist. This guy's going to do 20 at least, if not more. So it's just everyone was so amazed by that post, and then they're like, oh, he's a druggie. What we really should do is when we find an article, we should read the comments.
I'm reading some now.
Oh, are you?
I'm sorry, but that doesn't take from the good he did. Proof there is good in everyone, and dirt too, if you dig enough.
Well, yeah. But it doesn't take away, like I said, from the actual act. I mean, regardless of his motive, they sold all the cookies. They got out of the cold.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if the DEA is going to confiscate the cookies, because you know what I mean? You know what they do?
It's bought with drug money.
Yeah. I mean, they confiscate everything. You know, they're bringing those suckers back and eating them. I mean, as long as the Girl Scouts get to keep their money, I'm okay with it.
Right. Man.
Yeah. That I was thinking about that. We should click on the art or the comments and see how terrible. I mean, sometimes I refuse to look at them because I get stressed out by them. I'm like, are you serious? Seriously?
See. This type of stuff happens every day. He just got caught, or maybe he's innocent, but he did a good thing by his actions with the Girl Scouts. So there's that.
Yeah.
His way of laundering money. Yep. Did the cops confiscate his cookies?
There it is.
Those girls accepted dirty blood money. Wow.
Well, those are actually mild compared to some of them. Do you remember the story? And it's still going on. I think she pled no contest, but the woman that ran over her kid at that charter school.
People
I'm still
vicious.
Vicious. I mean, it was one side or the other. I would really like to know the story on that.
Yeah. It was intentional. I know that much.
What, to run her over?
Yeah. I mean, the mom intentionally ran over her kid.
No, she didn't.
Well,
she intentionally drove forward. Right.
With the kid's hand on the car door handle.
Right. Yes, that is true.
That was not okay.
But, okay. Put yourself in the shoes. Miracle's having a freak out, right? And you've dealt with this. You've dropped her off at school, and it's just been because this was a problem with this kid, apparently. Constantly, and finally, you've had it. She's going to grab the car to open the door, and you just take off. Well, little Miracle decided to hang on to the handle, and that's what happened. If the kid would have let go, I'm not blaming the kid by any means.
Yeah.
But I don't think she should have been charged. I honestly do. Yeah. Yes, she by the letter of the law, she did break a rule. But I mean, we've all done stuff where we're like, we did it, and you probably don't even realize it now because nothing happened. But if something did, someone would accuse you of be like, "Are you an idiot? Why did you even think?" I mean, I'm trying to think of an example. Jumping on a slippery rock. You're out hiking. Why would you let your 4-year-old jump on a slippery rock and she falls back, hits her head, and dies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. I would like to know the whole story. Like, sit down with her. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But yeah.
Yeah, people in comments, it's like you would never say these things to people face to face.
Why do you think most celebrities don't look at any of their social media. In fact, most celebrities aren't even posting their social media because it's just trash.
Yeah.
Or, maybe you get used to it. I don't know. I mean, I get trashed all the time on YouTube, and sometimes it's like, seriously, but other times I'm like, whatever, keyboard, Cheeto finger idiot. You know what I mean? So let's jump into yours.
All right.
Sorry, you were swallowing.
That's all right. Yeah, I took a good swig of my fancy Fiji water.
That's right. Nothing but the best in the studio here.
Seriously. So this story comes out of West Michigan, and there was a boy who was being bullied, and his dad didn't feel like the school was handling it well enough. So I can totally understand the situation. I'm trying to put myself in the dad's shoes. If my son was being bullied at school and I didn't feel like they were addressing it, I would probably take matters into my hands also. However,
however,
I don't think, no, I am 110% certain I would not call the school and threaten to blow it up.
Right.
Like, come on. I mean, I get being frustrated that your son's being bullied, but you're just adding fuel to the fire when you call the school and threaten violence against them. Like, that does not solve anything.
No.
So the authorities put out a letter to parents, the superintendent put out this letter, and it says a parent of a Delton Kellogg student was arrested yesterday after recently making intimidating and threatening remarks to a middle school staff member on the phone. Berry Township Police and Berry County Sheriff's Department responded quickly to investigate and ensure that the school was safe. In the upcoming days, you may hear reports of the incident during local news broadcast. Please know that the school takes such remarks very seriously. If you hear any threatening remarks in the future made towards the schools, blah, 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 tell us. But seriously, like, you had to take it that far to call a middle school teacher and harass them on the phone?
Well, clearly he hasn't made great life choices because he has neck tattoos, and they're terrible. I mean, nothing against tattoos. I have a lot of them, but I don't have them on my neck.
Yeah,
And I doubt anyone listening to this podcast has neck tattoos, but if you do, I'm not sorry.
Lose my number.
There's my Benny boy. That's something that I would have said.
I know, right? So, I just thought that was, again, I get being frustrated. Like, if my kid was being bullied, I would move heaven and earth to deal with it and get it solved.
Yeah.
But threatening violence against the staff.
I feel like it's just one of the, I mean, again, the neck tattoos, but I feel like he probably says that a lot. Like, I'm going to kick your ass or whatever. And so it probably is like, although, man, I would just say on the phone, I'm going to kick your ass. I don't think I'd say, if I said that regularly, I wouldn't say, I'm going to blow up the school.
Right.
I mean, idiot. Well, it's just such a sensitive thing because, I mean, my kids have lockdown drills. It's not cool, dude. Like, it's not cool. People freak the you-know-what out. Like, do not threaten a school anymore.
Seriously.
But, yeah, about that school violence, I was listening to a podcast, but somebody said, it was Zane's podcast.
Okay.
He interviewed a guy in Florida or something that hires veteran to guard the school. Each of his schools has a guard in it with like an AR-15, like not a pistol. Walks around with an AR-15, and of course he gets a lot of flack about it, but it's interesting.
Is this a public school or?
This is a charter school.
Charter, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wouldn't.
Interesting. It wouldn't fly in a public school.
No, there's too much. Yeah, there's too much red tape. But why not?
Yeah.
Why not hire? Why can't we? We're talking about this gas tax in Michigan and taxing. Everyone tax the shit out of us. I would gladly give how much a year? $500 a year.
All right, take it.
Okay, to put a police officer in every single school building in the United States.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, the people against guns would say no, that's not going to help. But they target schools because it's a gun-free zone. Mm-hmm. They're vulnerable. Yeah, that's why they go there, and they're mad at their peers. That's why they go there. But would you think twice if there was a police officer there that was armed? Would you I mean, there will be idiots that'll still try it, but
Yeah.
regardless, if this shooter does take a life, it'll be a lot less because that police officer will be there within seconds of that gunfire going off and ending it. So I don't know. This is my little tangent about, I don't know. I just feel bad. Like, what a life we're in now. I mean, we did tornado drills and fire drills. Now my kids do lockdowns and active shooter drills. Jeez. I mean, it's disgusting.
It is.
I know I'm so pro gun, but I also think something's got to be done because it's disgusting. I don't know what it is, but it's not getting rid of all the guns. So just FYI. All right, Ben, you're up again. You're up for the next two.
Yeah, you want me to just go in order here?
You do whatever you want.
All right. Another story about school. This is in Byron Center, also local Grand Rapids community. They had to come up with a transgender student policy because a student was removed from the dressing room during the musical at the high school there because they were transgender. So what happened is a parent complained that there was a transgender student in the opposite gender's bathroom, apparently. So that just, I honestly put it down there because I want to hear your thoughts. I don't really have any deep thoughts. I just was like,
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a sensitive thing. I'm curious if a kid just randomly said it to his parents. I find like the kids are much more tolerant of all this stuff. Not tolerant, that's not the right word, but like, it's cool, whatevs, you know what I mean? And the parents are what get their underwear in a bunch, but it's tough. I mean, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that they have rights just like we do. I mean, we just talked about the active shooter thing. Things, not that the transgender or whatever, not that didn't happen back in the day, but it's just more.
It's it's more prevalent.
Prevalent because of social media and the internet, and you see a lot more of it. So, I guess what do you want me to say about, like, do you think
transgender students should be given special treatment or different changing rooms? Or
that is like a loaded question.
I know. So if a boy thinks he's a girl, should he, she, whatever, use the girl's bathroom or the boy's bathroom?
I'm a firm believer in nobody should get special treatment. If you're transgender, then okay, that's cool. Then you feel like you're a boy or a girl, like, okay, then go in the girls. I'm not going to create.
How would you feel if there was a boy that identified as a girl that's in the girls' locker room with your daughter?
I'm okay with it. I mean, a predator is a predator is a predator, right? So regardless some people might say, well, you're giving them more of an opportunity. I'm like, these people struggle with their identity. Yeah. I mean, there are, I'm sure, predators that are transgender.
Sure.
Just like there's anything else, but they struggle with their identity. And it's like, I don't feel like there's a motive there. So
I think the kids honestly just trying to go where they feel safe.
Right.
And you can't fault them for that.
No.
So, but it's so hard because if this happened at Northview, one of my kids was in a play, I don't know how I would feel about it. I just, part of me would be upset because I'd be like, I don't know that is the best option for this boy who thinks he's a girl to be in the locker room with girls. I just think some of those girls may not know how to respond to that and react in a healthy way.
Well, there's got to be a discussion about it. If this is happening in a school, then the board needs to sit down and we're gonna have a dialogue about it, like how we react or what we do or where is our stance. And I'm sure that's what they're doing because of this. But
yeah. So I guess the policy was that he had bathroom privileges. Sorry, I struggle. I honestly, I do. I have a really hard time with the whole transgender thing. I don't know. It's like God made you with a penis or a vagina. That's what you got. Deal with it.
I disagree.
I know that makes me sound like a conservative nuthead, but that's just kind of
Yeah, it was a pretty bullshit thing to say. I'm not going to lie, but that's okay if that's how you believe. I don't believe that way. I feel like you were born with it. Like you identify.
So then are you saying that God made a mistake by...
Well, there is some discussion about that. I mean, there's sin, right? And not that I'm saying it's a sin, but I mean, that's why things happen. That's why car crashes happen and everything. That's crap that you said God made a mistake, but no, I like it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't either.
But if you're gay and lesbian, is that a choice?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, I'm saying, yeah, that's a good question. I'm not saying, yeah, that's a choice.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like the same thing. You're like you're born with it. Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's so...
You're either making friends or making enemies right now, Ben.
No.
Same with me too. But
I'm just on the fence so much.
Well, we both can agree that it's a sensitive subject, and
very much.
And
so.
I think when people don't know a lot about it, they freak out, right? Like they just freak out. They're like, no, but it's tough with religion.
Yeah,
it's tough.
And I can just picture somebody digging up this podcast episode and playing that little soundbite.
Yeah, well, you talked about with Joe Rogan, but can you imagine if whatever happened like in 15 years or something, we're all of a sudden syndicated and they pull this up and look, listen to that bigot.
Yeah. And maybe that did sound bigoted. I'm not trying to personally offend anybody.
No, but that's just your opinion.
It's just like that's how I've understood human sexuality my whole life. And it's hard for me to consider alternative ways of seeing it.
Agreed.
And I struggle with that. So
yeah, I mean for me, I got real soft. Not soft, but I mean, like, I'm so liberal on the social ends of things. It's bizarre. And I don't know why. I don't care about all that stuff. I'm under the the thought process of whatever you do, if it doesn't harm another person, I don't care. Like, we were talking in the transportation trailer about furries.
Yeah.
And one of the guys had gone to a conference, and he works for a local gas company up here. And they went to Atlanta, and in the same hotel was a conference, like thousands of furries running around. And he was interested. He's like, you do your own thing. I don't care. But the guys where he with were like super conservative. We're saying some pretty terrible things about that. Do you know what a furry is? Like, as far as like what their thing is? Cause I had to ask, like,
it's like a fetish.
Yes.
And they dress up
but they have sex, and they have anonymous sex in the furry costumes.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. So whatever, like, you're into S&M, you're into whatever. It's just one of those. I don't think it's focused just on that, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's just like, whatever. If you're not bothering me,
that's your thing.
Go be. I mean, within the letter of the law, of course. I mean, I don't want you.
What do you do with?
Quit playing with that water bottle. It's distracting. You need a fidget spinner?
Maybe. Well, what do you do with somebody forcing their agenda and making you change how you do things?
And like how?
Like, well, let's say you're a baker and a gay couple comes to you and they want you to make a wedding cake for them. Do you do it?
I feel as an independent business owner, you can deny or approve anything you want.
Or
it doesn't break the law.
Or with the school, like the whole Byron Center thing. If you have taught your family one way about sexuality and now there's this student that is identifying as transgender and wanting to use that gender's bathroom, but you're not okay with it, isn't that other family kind of pushing, or isn't that student pushing their view and expecting you to adopt? I mean, at that point, I feel like it's not just a UBU, it's a UBU is now impacting me being me.
That's definitely a gray area. I got a friend that says is upset with the gay marriage, meaning to that they shouldn't get benefits. And they should. I mean, and even in regards to like the government, like they shouldn't get any government benefits and those kind of things. But
why?
I mean,
because they're gay?
Because it's going to cost the company. It's going to cost everyone more money. I mean, I don't understand it either, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like you don't throw the bath or you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, I mean,
it's such a case by case basis thing, too.
Yeah.
I mean, people like to polarize these issues, and I just don't think they're as polarizing as we make them out to be.
Right. Well, no, exactly. The one kid may have said something in passing to the parent, and the parent freaked out.
Yeah.
And then, just like anything with the government and schools, they only react when they get a complaint. Mm-hmm. Like, if everyone's cool with it, it's fine. But I can't answer that question. You're right. I shouldn't. I don't think they're pushing their agenda. But you're right. I don't want to. If I was super passionate about it and my kid wanted to be in this play, and this is what was going to happen, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's tricky.
Lose my number? Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't have a problem with it. But it could be anything. Like, it could be something with autism with Sully. I mean, it could be anything.
Right.
I mean, so I don't know.
It's hard to coexist sometimes because sometimes the ideals and the way we see things, the way we approach the world is very different from those around us. And how do you live in coexistence and harmony and peace with those people?
I really have to sleep on that scenario.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't have a problem with it, but if I did with that transgender person, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, what do you can't, I mean, we can pull your kid out and then you're kind of like, oh, their agenda it's not anyone's agenda. It's their lifestyle has changed, has affected me, I guess, in a way. But
and just some background from me that might help explain where I'm coming from and how my worldview was formed.
Give me that plastic bottle.
No, I want to take the label off.
Okay, but I can hear it.
There you go.
Driving me nuts.
I had part of it off, and then I was like, I got to get it all off. I just got to pull the band-aid
Yeah,
off.
just rip it off. Don't play with it. Oh, not going to touch that one. Not going to do that one either. Oops.
All right. So, funny story. Back in high school, freshman year, my first year in a public school setting, part of the science curriculum was sex ed.
Yeah.
Guess who did not go to that sex ed programming?
Your parents wouldn't let you?
Nope.
Dumbest thing I ever heard.
I went to the library and studied rocks.
OMG.
Yeah. So, truth be told, I think a lot of my view of these issues has been influenced by how I was raised.
For sure.
And to a certain extent, I kind of look at my parents and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Why did you pull me from that?
Right.
Because that naturally it made me an outsider. Like, here's Ben, Christian Ben, parents don't want him in this. And it's not like we're in some, super liberal community. We're in Zealand.
Right.
Like, come on. The teachers that are teaching this sex ed curriculum, they all go to church. Like, what? So, but yeah, my parents felt it was necessary to pull me out. And Mom,
that explains it all.
If you're listening, I don't think that was a good idea.
If we were live streaming, your mom would chime in.
She would. So I just don't think that was smart on their part. And I think my parents tend to be, not necessarily my mom, but definitely my dad tends to be a little bit extreme sometimes in his views, like very right wing. So
okay, just a quick funny story. My therapist's dad was her sex ed teacher.
Oh.
He still teaches it in the school.
Really?
Well, they're not from around here, but she's like, you want to talk about embarrassing? Like, obviously now I think it's amazing because we had a great relationship about it. But back then I wanted to crawl into a hole.
That would be so hard.
So hard. Yeah. It's interesting. Some of the comments in Reddit, Byron Center is ridiculous. They also got a former band teacher, or they got rid of a former band teacher for being gay. They also teach abstinence. This shit needs to stop. My kids attend that school. So that guy. So he's in this position where, they teach abstinence, which is dumb. I don't think being absent. Oh, look at that. I sparked something in you. I don't think it being abstinent is dumb. I just think teaching it, you need to teach everything.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Because let's be honest, not I mean, the minority of teenagers are going to practice abstinence. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. So let's
kids are going to have sex.
Right. I was told Nolte, I'm like, listen, dude, if you have sex before marriage, I hope that you will wait. But if you don't, please be safe. Like,
yeah,
condoms, birth control, whatever you need to do. So
you probably know the answer to this already, but do you think I waited till marriage?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, your parents won then.
They did.
They kept you out of there. And then, so when you waited till you got married, you got in there, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't have any sex ed.
To Andy's credit, she waited too.
Oh, I mean,
given her just shitty upbringing,
yeah,
she still
that's
had
pretty
the value
amazing
system to wait.
That's
and
interesting.
it really speaks to the influence that, I mean, we call them mom and dad now, but they're not really mom and dad. But Eric and Janine in our church, they kind of took her into their family.
Yeah,
not kind of, they really did. And we know them as, like, they're my in-laws, even though they're not really my in-laws. So
that's interesting. Yeah, when I hear you talk about some of these sensitive subjects, I always think about Andy because I'm like, I feel like she's pretty liberal.
She is,
but
and she's going to listen to this, and we're going to have some talks, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like you are to a certain extent. But when it comes to like, you're like conservative.
I'm a liberal conservative.
No. When it comes to religion, I think you're conservative.
Sure.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But yeah, I would call myself like a moderate, like kind of we've said it 1,000 times, I like my guns, money, and small government. Yes. But I also think.
So how do you feel about the gas tax?
We're going to talk about that on GR because it's more GR local. But all right, next up. Hopefully we talked about that long enough. So right. Megan's happy.
We didn't just scratch the surface. So this is just a short little kind of neat story. Grand Rapids is obviously just a booming city. Today I went downtown, walked all over downtown.
That's beautiful out.
It was. But I had a winter coat on, so that was mistake number one on my part.
Yes.
So the sun's beating down on us. We're walking all over the city, popping into office buildings. One of them, the elevator just was conveniently out of service, so we had to climb to like the 4th floor or whatever. So anyway, we're just walking around Grand Rapids, and I'm seeing all these construction projects, and
it's crazy.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible the amount of stuff going up. So this is kind of in line with that. Not downtown, but kind of close to the airport. A new corporate headquarters has been announced. They're not saying who it is. It's all hush hush. We already know that Amazon is coming. But apparently there's a company that is a professional firm rated one of the top 10 in its industry worldwide.
Well, it's not by the airport because it says Metro GR.
It will be.
It says Mystery Company pitches new HQ in Metro GR. That's like downtown.
No, Metro GR is like the metropolitan area.
Okay.
Read the next paragraph. Glenwood Hills Parkway off of Craft Avenue. That's near the 9620.
That is not Metro. I would not consider that the Metro.
Metro is like the surrounding area.
Nope, that's the suburbs. So it's downtown and Metro?
Downtown is not Metro.
No, but what I'm saying, it's downtown and then Metro.
Yeah.
So it's the downtown and then the metropolitan.
Yeah.
What's everything else then? Just Metro. So just when does
instead of calling it the suburbs, they just call it Metro GR.
So Metro GR would be like you have a Grand Rapids address. So Jenison wouldn't be Metro GR or Granville.
People would say it extends to Holland.
Oh, that's dumb.
It's a hotly debated area, Metro GR, But anyway, I just think it's cool that there's another big business coming to Grand Rapids. I mean, we've got Switch was one of the first ones. They took over the Pyramid building.
Yeah.
And then Amazon started building their headquarters, and then they obviously started the Flex delivery. It's like Grand Rapids is a happening place.
I know.
I wish they would just say who is moving in.
It's going to be somebody lame. So,
so they do all this like big article build up for it. and then it turned out to be...
the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I don't know. It just popped in my head. So is the Reddit comments. Like someone's like, oh God, I hope it's a White Castle. Please, 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 please. Let's see. Someone said regional accounting firm.
But there's 700 jobs being created, so it's got to be something.
If it's an accounting firm, it's massive.
Yeah.
Quick, someone dusts off Suzanne Jiha.
She's my favorite.
She was Freeburn Hot Wings when Zane was on that show. He used to, they used to give her a hard time. I
have emails from Susan Jiha.
Really?
Yeah. That's a different story. But
were you guys like dating?
No. Oh. No. You want me to?
No.
Okay, it's a thread that's not related, so we'll just hold off on that thread. Long story short, Rainbow Daycare. Don't ever send your kids there.
The one on 36th Street? No.
Any of them.
Oh. How did you know about it? How did you get involved? Do the short version.
I'm just amazed I haven't brought this up. Rainbow Daycare was supposed to pick Stefan up from his school, and they forgot him on the playground. Didn't pick him up. He was out on the playground for 3 hours.
No.
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was 10, maybe.
Okay, so there's epic fails on both ends. There's the fail of the school.
And it was charter, NAP charter.
Well, there you go.
That's where he was.
Charter.
Yep.
Just kidding. Anyone that goes to charter school, they're fine.
So, yeah. They completely forgot him. And I went to Rainbow Daycare on the Beltline to pick him up.
And he wasn't there?
He's not there. And nobody even noticed he wasn't there.
Isn't there not even some sort of checklist? Like,
you would think.
Stefan, miracle. Like, just checking out.
This is
where's
before,
Stefan?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be here.
Yeah. I mean, this is before Miracle. So this is
I'm just saying,
ago,
like,
still
just names. Like, you should be checking them off as they're getting on and off the bus.
Basic attendance. Like, come on. You have one job. So we were livid, and we showed up at the school and demanded to meet with the principal the next morning.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy that works at Wood TV8. He's like the executive producer. So I called my buddy and was like, hey, this happened. And they did a story and ran with it.
Okay.
So Suzanne Jiha was going to be the one covering it, but then they decided to give it to, I can't remember his name, but Leon Hendricks.
Oh, good old Leon.
I love Leon. He's such
hilarious.
A good guy.
He's so funny.
So, and he blasted Rainbow in the story.
Did he?
So, yeah.
So that wasn't that long ago then. I mean, Stefan's what, 13?
He'll be 13 this year.
Oh, so that was like 2 years ago.
2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
So he started at Northview in 5th grade.
It had to have been early. Oh, really? I thought she'd been gone a lot longer than that.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But, all right. Next up is mine. And this is just kind of today I learned if you are a Redditor, that is one of the best subreddits.
Is that what they're called, Redditors?
I don't know. They're not called Reddies. Reddies like threadies. Today, I learned Tom Hanks has been gifting the White House press corps with new coffee machines since 2004.
So funny.
After visiting and finding an old, decrepit Mr. Coffee machine, too bad news for Mr. Coffee,
right.
Serving really bad coffee. Latest was a $1,700 espresso machine in 2017. I mean, is Tom Hanks the best guy? Like, I've seen so many things about him, the things he does. What a great guy!
He's
like
so others focused.
Yes.
Like, he's not the type of celebrity to just spend all the money on himself.
No.
Like, he's always looking for ways to make life better for people.
I know. I
admire that about him.
I have on a good authority that Tom Hanks will be running for president. I would support him on the Republican ticket.
I'd vote for him on any ticket.
Yeah, isn't that the coolest thing? Like, they all can pitch their money together and probably get one, but that's so funny.
Yeah.
So he probably doesn't give him one every year, but
still.
The number one comment was, I thought he just had all the Dr. Pepper he could drink when he visited the White House. Is that an inside joke? Something? Did he do a movie with the White House with Dr. Pepper? Forrest Gump, maybe?
Me. I don't know.
Was there Dr. Pepper and Forrest Gump in the White House? Somebody fact check. Look at the staff on it. Check in on that.
Yeah, our producer. We'll get him on that.
Okay, last thing. Oh, this is a video, so I have to go over to the what is this? Oh, this is not good. Stand by.
Okay.
And magically, I'm in another computer.
But you're still on the microphone.
How is that possible?
Technology.
Of course, Jason doesn't have the story up. Talk amongst yourselves. No, this story is about, as I log into my drive here, it's about a story about a mom that, gosh, I hope it's the right one I'm talking about before I go into it.
You want me to follow the link and tell you what
I mean, the video will start playing, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that a mom put a recorder in her daughter's hair. I don't know. They have like crazy microphones now that you can hide, like spy stuff.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Is that the one? Is that the right one?
That just made me sick listening to it.
So her kid had autism or special needs or something, and the kid didn't want to go to school, so she put that microphone in there, and I'm trying to get to the video, but it's going to play the video. Hopefully you can hear it. It's called Classroom Secrets. I'm not sure where it's at, but of course it's okay. Why do they autoplay this crap?
I don't know. I don't think it was local though.
No, I don't think it was either. Okay, let's see if see if I screw this up.
C7 exclusive. A hidden recording device in a special education classroom raises alarming questions about what went on at an elementary school in Berkeley County, West Virginia.
Now, before we even play these, we want to warn you what you're about to hear is disturbing. Here is 7 on your side I-Team reporter Scott Taylor.
I'll backhand you right in your teeth. How's that for anxiety?
According to parents, that's a secret recording of an instructor talking to kids inside a special education class at Berkeley Heights Elementary School in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Amber Pack sent her 8-year-old daughter to class with a recording device after the child didn't want to go back to school.
I'll punch you in your face.
A different instructor in the same class.
Well, you gotta go pee-pee? Pee-pee? Or do you not have to go pee-pee and you just want to go across the chair?
There's more.
I wonder what that was about.
I'm gonna pull your hair until you stop crying. Don't throw it. Don't throw. Animal, you. Yep. You winch. You're like a pygmy. You're like a pygmy.
That's terrible.
The next day, Pack alerted the school district and the Martinsburg Police Department.
Do you think this has been going on for a while?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was the first day I put the recorder in her hair.
Oh, the first day.
One day you caught all
One day.
this.
Mm-hmm. 8 hours.
You can hear the instructors sometimes singing songs and reading stories to students, and other times...
How your tears dry up so quickly, crocodile. And then she wants to destroy everything in sight. I'm gonna knock you out.
I couldn't eat for 3 days. I was my stomach, everything. I was just so upset, and every time I looked at her, I'd start crying. What is this?
Casey Murphy, whose 6-year-old son Owen is in the same class, says during a late October parents-teachers conference, nobody alerted her to the recording, even though Pack had already handed it over to the school district.
I've never heard from the principal, never heard from the superintendent, never heard from any of them.
It wasn't until November, after Pack posted a clip of the recording on Facebook, that Murphy became aware of it.
I'm gonna beat your butt. For sure. You know, and you're gonna get one just cuz.
It's sickening. Like, people don't even talk to animals like that, and they're talking to...
I think there should be cameras in every single one of those rooms. It's not done, but I just had to say that.
Absolutely.
Nonverbal children who don't understand why they're talking to them like that. They're not doing anything wrong.
On the recording, the instructors tease and refuse to give Owen food.
Growl at me, I dare you, and you won't get one. Go ahead. There's nothing says I have to give you a snack. Nothing. Looks like you get nothing, Owen. Sorry, buddy.
The Berkeley County Prosecutor's Office found no criminal wrongdoing, but County Prosecutor Katie Wilkes Delegati told Casey Murphy, "I am not in any way condoning the verbal treatment of your children by the individuals in the classroom."
How is
right
that
now,
not
all
against the
3
law?
instructors are on paid administrative leave.
I don't understand why you treated
They
her
always do that.
the way you treated her. She did not deserve that. No kid does.
The school district, which declined multiple interview requests, is still investigating and says state law prevents it from sharing information. The Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Education right now is getting involved with its own investigation. Now, we reached out to all 3 of the instructors.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it that it's not criminal. I mean, nothing was done wrong. Well, if you ever...
It should be criminal, though.
Yeah, I
You
mean...
can't talk to kids that way.
Well...
Special needs.
I don't know. I don't think it's criminal, but they should be fired, and I'd like to see it followed. It's just... How do you get so bitter if that's your thing, like you can't do it, like you're yelling at the kids, and when if you watch this by yourself, and the instructor number 2 is the nasty. I mean, they were all involved, and it said number 3, but number 2 was the worst. And I'm just like, if you don't like doing it, go teach other kids.
Seriously.
So, this is where you would see Jason. I mean, I would get that recording back, and I wouldn't wait till the morning. Like, I'd be like going down the street back to the school. I'm like, oh, we got a problem. Yeah, it's terrible. So hopefully she gets, I don't know, syphilis or something.
Wow.
I know. Okay. Let's talk about our wives articles, and then we'll jump into the sound clip because it doesn't really fit right here. So
let's see. So on this topic of news, we asked our wives for a story they read this week. My wife sent me one very deep article.
Oh, great.
I know, right?
Jeez. Another one we're going to scratch the surface with.
Seriously. Why we must heal ourselves first before we become healers, teachers, or mentors. So basically the whole article could be summed up in the sentence: you can't be effective as a teacher, mentor, influencer, leader, whatever the case may be. You can't be effective in that role if you haven't dealt with your own shit. There are many times when I've walked out of a one-on-one session to overcome my mental and emotional pain, the article says, and I would feel a deep frustration in my body from doubting the person sitting in front of me. Frustration because I knew the person sitting in front of me was a wounded healer, not the healed healer, mentor, coach, teacher, or leader she had made herself out to be. On and on. It's very deep. But the whole point is there are so many people, so many counselors that don't have their shit together, and yet they are counseling and making a living by telling people what to do. And,
if my sister listened to this, I'm sorry. I just think my sister's one of them. I mean, I feel she can function, but I think she hasn't dealt with a lot of the demons, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to throw her completely under the bus. Just maybe an arm to say that I wish she would work on herself, because I think she would be so much more successful. Not just in her practice, but she started a podcast. Like, I think she's got a lot of anxiety, and I think if she worked a little bit on herself, she'd perform better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Couple of quotes to pull from this. Are you the wounded child who is now expected to be a healer, mentor, teacher, or leader, trying to be of service to the world? Are you still in deep pain and suffering while forcing yourself to portray a lie to the world? If you are, then my message today is to do the right thing and take time out for yourself to do your own inner work. Release the wounds that need to be released, process what needs to be processed, and free yourself so you can be of service to the greater good of all. My wife is just phenomenal at this. Like, I am amazed at her dedication to working through the shit from her childhood. And there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah, it's heavy. I mean, the stuff that she had to put up with.
Let's get her on here, Ben. Let's go.
She doesn't want to talk about it on the podcast.
Come on, Andy.
You can work on her on that. But I mean, but now parenting kids who, they're at ages that she remembers being that age.
Yeah.
And she's meeting the needs of our kids and doing a phenomenal job at that. But it's just bringing up all these wounds that I never had anybody to do that for me as a kid. And I had to figure this out for myself.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Right.
But she goes to therapy every week religiously and doesn't miss. If she can, she'll rework her schedule to be at therapy once a week. And she's going into private practice eventually. And so she's an example of somebody that is dealing with their crap.
Yeah.
So that she can be more effective in helping other people do the same work.
On the same token, though, you got to be a little crazy to deal with that kind of. I talked to Megan the other night. I got back from my therapy session. I'm like, poor her. Like, she's got to go home at the end of the day. Like, mine was probably the easiest about she's dealt with, at least for today.
Sure.
I mean, and I'm just like, and Megan's like, well, she probably compartmentalizes it. She's able to keep it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I would go home and just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be able to work every day. And she does, like, I don't know how she does it. She'll do a back-to-back appointment. No break. Mm-hmm. Someone will walk out of her office. She sees me. I go right in. Yep. Like, she doesn't take 5 minutes to be like, okay. Yeah. Like me and you would be like, okay, I need a breather. That was rough. And I get it.
In 30 minutes.
I get it. She's a professional. Yeah. But to speak of that, I think, with my sister, with the trauma that she experienced, I think she still is a good therapist, or she's a master's of social work like Andy. She can work under somebody. Same thing. I think she helps people. I really do. I just think she could be more helpful if she could, if she worked. And I'm sure she is working on her stuff, and she hears this. She's probably going to be, I mean, we're not talking. So, I mean, nothing really, I mean, something, I think we talked about it. Something happened a while ago, but it's never really healed. We've kind of been like, yeah, I'm sorry, whatever. But it's never really healed. But anyways, so she probably won't listen to it anyways. But I'm proud of Andy for doing that. It's tough. I mean, I've been working on my stuff. This EMDR is interesting, but it's hard work. Like, first session, blah. The second one, I had a massive headache when I was done. And I'm just like, it's tough dealing with, trying to repair that damage that you had as a kid. So I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
You got any more with that?
No. But then I also reached out to my boss, Tyler, because he listens to the show, and asked him to send me a link that he read in the last week. His is really boring, but I thought the headline was pretty awesome.
Did you say your boss was boring?
Yeah, absolutely. I sure did.
I was kind of paying attention. I was looking at the one that Meg sent me. And I'm like, did he just say his boss was boring?
No, the article he sent me was boring.
Oh.
But the headline's kind of funny. No surprise here. Report says Michigan roads need fixing. Duh.
Right. Right.
But yes, I am so over winter, and like, these potholes and the road conditions have taken a toll on my car.
Mine too. And the rear end, I mean, I think a lot of it is the flex, but I mean, just to touch on the road tax, it's not an immediate 45 cents. It's tiered, but my question is, every time they give us more taxes, it's supposed to improve it
for the roads,
and it's not. No. I see them working on stuff, but okay. They're redoing, for people that don't listen to Michigan, or Grand Rapids, they're redoing the 96, 196 exchange.
Yep.
Needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Not a priority, though. Like, I can't even drive down, like, College without losing my car in a pothole. Like, let's fix those first. I mean, it's worked for how many years? I get it backs up okay, you're in traffic for a half hour coming from Cascade.
Yeah.
Wah, it's second biggest city in Michigan. You're going to get some traffic. I don't know. It's just like,
why does that take priority over these roads that just need to be?
and again, it is a main thoroughfare. Is
Yeah.
they call it a thorough through? But I just think the road is fine. It's not potholey.
Yeah.
It just they want to reorganize it, which it'll be nice. I get it, but
It's just like that crazy Cascade Road accident.
oh my gosh, what a waste of money.
I know.
I get confused on that. Thank goodness they put pictures on the street to know if I'm in the right lane. Can you
But you're in
imagine?
the left lane.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine someone being elderly trying to navigate that? I mean, I'm not being a snowflake. It's the worst intersection I've ever seen.
It is.
I'm sure it's better for flow of traffic, but
Yeah.
you got to know exactly where you are. I'm like, okay. And then coming from one direction, there's a yield, and you're like,
Yeah.
in this lane. I'm like, okay, can I
this?
go? Can I not go? Am I going to die?
Seriously.
Oh.
Anyway, what did Meg send you?
All right. It is a video. So I think what I would suggest you do is I will send it to you and you plug it into your tablet so you can watch it. And then I'll play it on the podcast too. It's more of a visual thing. Whoopsies. Why is that? That's bizarre. Hold on one second. I do not know why that's there. I think I copied and pasted the wrong thing. Got the B team here. Hold on.
We know what we're doing.
Yep. Talk so much. No, not paste. That's what I did.
What are you doing?
I'm pasting instead of copying. So it's adding. Oh, my Lord.
That's awesome.
It's not-
Control C, Control V.
It's not giving a. It's not letting me. All right.
Can you just forward me the message?
Yeah, that would probably be easier. I just don't know why it's not letting me. Come on, everyone loves my lameness.
Mm-hmm.
You're going nuts.
I love it.
You love
I'm
it?
so amazed by your lack of...
It seriously is not letting me copying it. This is bizarre. All right. I'm forwarding it to, what's your name again, Ben?
What's my name again? What's my name again?
You'll have to click on it, and then it opens the other article to watch the video. I didn't like it with no microphone. That does not work. I don't even have what am I, Ben? I don't even have Telegram open on there, so bear with me. I hope it's worth it.
It's like a Jonah story.
It is. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, I am like tech. I am tech challenged for this. I'm clicking on weird stuff
What's going on?
just. Can you preface? Come on, save your partner, your co-host. Can you talk about it a little bit?
The story is there was a 51-year-old in South Africa that was snorkeling, and while he was snorkeling, he apparently was swallowed up head first by a whale. I don't know how that happens, but it actually did happen. It sounds like something right out of the Bible. Jonah and the whale.
Video's still loading.
So we're waiting for the video to load.
It's going to be a big letdown.
Yeah, you can see that he has been swallowed by the whale. That is crazy.
All right, let's see what the audio has to say.
It's the 12-second clip.
No, I have a 3-minute and 50-second. You're looking at the Twitter clip.
For the event when you end up inside the whale, and then it's pure instinct.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's nice, and now it's buffering.
And we traveled about 25 nautical miles.
Okay, we're not doing this. After all that, we'll post it, and maybe we should
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll post it on Facebook too. But Yeah, I should have just not done that because that was way too much work. But it's crazy. He did say something as I was reading it. He was wondering if the whale was going to, and maybe I'll listen to it. It's playing again.
It's a surprise for the whalers.
Well, good thing. It just keeps buffering anyways.
I thought you had fast internet.
It's this computer. Yeah, it's this computer. Okay, back to the show.
Dead air.
You're supposed to talk. You're supposed to cover your partner, man.
Sorry, we can edit that out. Oh wait, we don't edit things out.
No, we don't. Well,
What you hear is what you get.
Mostly.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I just got a message from Justin. He said, "Man, such a great podcast. I don't listen to many, but enjoying listening to you and Ben." Aww. I know I said that earlier, but he literally
he sent me one too.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
That was nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Oh crap! Why did I come back here? Because we were going to jump into my next thing. So,
just all over
segment 5. Do you know of, or have you recently learned an interesting fact that your listeners would be interested in? Tell your listeners. So I'm going to go mine, and this is just kind of something that we've reiterated on this show many times, and it was a interview with Joe Rogan and Dr. Phil. It's on Joe Rogan's show. He interviews a wide range of people. I would recommend that podcast. I wouldn't listen to everything because you don't have the time, but he'll have scientists on there and just amazing people. And so this is kind of what he was talking about. They were kind of talking about mental illness a little bit. So maybe I should just stay over there.
Jason's going back to the other spot.
This one I have ready.
One of my professors in college for psychology, I believe it was, she played Dr. Phil clips all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, some of his stuff is really good. I mean, he's a solid guy. He knows his stuff. But sometimes I feel like he's a little bit cheesy.
Well, and that's how I thought of him, too, because I only knew him from his show. Yeah. And you'd see clips of it, and you're like, he's the Catch Me Outside girl was on his show.
Yep.
They actually talk about her at the beginning of the interview, and they actually say that she was making progress, but she went home for she went to a rehab or not rehab or some sort of home to make her a better kid or something. And it was like a 3-month, they paid for everything, and she was doing great and being successful, and she was home for one day, and then there was huge drama with her mom and all this other stuff. But anyways, so this is Dr. Phil and Joe Rogan talking about mental health. So it's only about 1:08.
Now, over all the years you've been doing your show, you've developed a real community, right? I mean, you really have made an impact. If you stop and think about all the people that your show's touched, and all the people that have listened to your advice, and all the people that have taken that advice and made those little incremental changes in their lives and set those goals and held themselves accountable, I mean, that's a pretty significant thing.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I think I know that there's a stigma attached to mental illness. And that really bothers me. There should not be. I mean, having depression or anxiety or whatever, to me, should have no more stigma than having a knee injury or a kidney infection or diabetes. But there is a stigma attached to it. And I've tried to talk about this in a way where it's okay to talk about it and not be ashamed of it. It's okay. If you've got anxiety, you got PTSD, whatever, it's okay. Let's talk about it. Let's get help for it, get it behind you, and move on. I mean, it's not something that you should be ashamed of.
So that's good. I mean, that's kind of what we talk about all the time. And man, when I heard that, I'm like, this is Dr. Phil? Like, seriously? I just figured he was like a celebrity doctor, but he has an interesting story, and I kind of want to read up on him a little bit. Somehow he got started with Oprah. He was an investigator for her or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's a really cool interview. It's interesting to hear Dr. Phil swear a couple of times.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
He kind of let loose a little bit.
Like F-bomb swear?
I think he did say the F-bomb once.
Awesome. That gives me a lot more respect.
Right. It's tough to get through his nasally voice. Yeah, it's really tough.
It's an interesting southern voice.
Right. I feel like he has bloody noses like every day or something with that nasally voice. So
seriously.
So what's up next with you?
Did you know that 1 in every 5 couples has a sexless marriage, meaning they have sex, they have less than 10 encounters in a year? That is crazy.
Well, I mean, it's almost one a month.
Almost. But not really. I don't know. Like,
oh, it's just a random fact?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a source button. That's interesting that they do that. You click on that, you find out where they got this. It's from Dr. Phil.
Is it?
Yes, click on it.
No way.
Oh, wait. No, maybe the link's bad.
Hold on.
It is bad because it says Dr. Phil's advice for a woman in custody battle with her parents.
Oh,
well,
weird.
That's weird.
1 in 5 random facts, and then
yeah, I clicked on the source, and that's where it took me.
That's awesome.
Okay, I don't believe it.
Source.
See if it happens for you too.
No, nothing. Just a bunch of random links.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
I think I was just crawling around on
Facebook
I saw that fact.
I mean, I'm not taking it. I'll take it with a grain of snalt.
Well, let me Google it.
I'm not going to snope it.
I'm going to snope it. 1 in 5.
Why does it go to Dr. Phil?
Sexless marriage. I don't know. I saw that statistic and I was like, man, that's not very much. Let's see. Oh,
I feel like I'm going to get a virus on this site.
I know. I went to a different one. Let's see. Maureen McGrath. It's been said that if you never want to have sex again, get married. Interesting. So, I find that very interesting. Again, just with my background, saving sex for marriage and all that conservative prudy stuff. I love sex, and I just can't imagine being sexless in marriage. Like, what's the point if you're not having sex? Like, I don't.
What's the point?
What's the point of a marriage if you're not, consummating the marriage and enjoying the benefits of the marriage?
Right.
So I don't know. It's not like we are, every night, but.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
What about Saturday?
Saturday, yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'm always intrigued by the frequency of sex among the majority of married couples.
So I'm going to blow your... Well, I don't know if I've told you this before, and I've told other people, so it's not a big secret. I have an incredibly low sex drive. I would be fine going to sleep. And it sounds bizarre. And there could be a couple of contributing factors. 1, I'm overweight. 2, I'm not exercising. I mean, you don't feel that way, and I'm not calling you fat, but you are overweight. That's
fine.
But you are younger too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bizarre. Like,
and sometimes depression medication
yes,
can really factor in.
Right. And I take medication for anxiety. So that does, I mean, almost every one of them has a lower libido.
Yep.
But yeah, it's always kind of the joke that Megan's the one that wants it all the time. And I'm the one that's like, I'm too tired. Now, mind you, when it is happening, it's amazing.
Oh,
like,
of course.
The best thing ever. I'm like, why don't I do this more often? And then, yeah, so I would definitely say we're more than what that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're not like
every night
or every week.
Really? I feel good if we get it in, once a week. 4 times a month, I think we're good.
I would say we're probably average once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, and it's not like we're scheduling it, and well, sometimes we are actually, because it's like
you have to sometimes.
She's like, oh yeah, let's whatever, and I'm like, oh, I got this and this going on, and it's not like I don't want to, but for some reason I'm just like, yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. That's
My
honest.
buddy Eugene, he's always like, what? I don't care. Like if someone woke me up for that, I'd be like, are you insane? And he's like, I don't care what time of night it is, what time of day, what's going on, it's happening. I'm like,
all right. Yeah, I don't know if I could. I just don't jive with that mentality.
What's that?
The any time of day, like that's just not my style.
Well, I mean, it's an insatiable sex drive. I mean, if that's, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's changed. I mean, that was back when we were younger, but yeah, I don't know what it is. This kind of a lower sex drive. So there you go. Today you learned that I have a low sex drive.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Do you want me to share something else?
I don't know. Do I?
No, you don't. All right. So
I know where you're going with that.
I know. So we're almost done.
I know.
Number 12 is via live stream. That's going to be a problem.
That's not going to happen.
Even when I did post, I wanted people to chime in. No one chimed in.
I know. It's like, where are you people? Like, even my mom could have chimed in or something, or Justin.
I feel like we have to send them actual emails to the people that we actually know to do it.
Yes.
But everyone tells us how much they love the show, but then I'm like, we're asking for feedback. Like, tell me something you want to know about us, or like a question you've always wanted to ask, or a topic that you wanted us to discuss, like what our views are on it and stuff. But
no.
So
this last segment is to feature, and this is a funny story. I showed this list to Jason, and we each picked our favorite ones. I did not pick this number, but to be a good sport, I did pick something for it. Well, Jason, who picked this number, does not have anything to feature.
Well, originally it was going to be live streaming, and I love music. I could pick so many songs that I'm like, I just love this song. This is what it means to me.
Yeah.
And even some rock songs. But I'm like, well, we'll get kicked off live streaming.
Yeah,
like
that's
so.
true.
That's why I kind of ignored it. But then now we're not live streaming, so we are going to play Ben's.
So I have a band that I came across randomly on Spotify. They have that feature where you can do the radio and it plays random songs.
Hold on. Don't say what it is about. Like, let's let them listen to it, and then they won't respond, but we'll ask them to respond and what song that it's from. Sorry, I wanted
what
to
show it's from.
Well, now you gave it. Now it's a show. Could have been a movie. Son of a bitch. But no.
I'll just turn my microphone off.
Ben's throwing the water bottle.
I'm done.
Mic drop. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to kind of make it a game. Go ahead.
No, I was waiting for you to press play.
No, I thought you wanted to preface it.
If I preface it, I'm going to give it away.
Well, you can talk about the band.
Do you want me to give the name of the band?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the name of the band is Break of Reality. They are an American cello rock band. Yes, you heard me right. Cello rock band consisting of 3 cellists and a percussionist. The group is associated with the terms cinematic rock, cello rock, and indie classical. Their current members include Patrick Laird, Ivan Trevino, Laura Metcalf, and Adrian Dorov.
We don't care about that.
It is my dream to see them live. They are incredible.
Let's look them up.
So
look them up. Let's get a show. I'm trying to see more shows.
They, in addition to performing and recording, Break of Reality is dedicated to educational initiatives through music. The group has visited hundreds of public schools around the world, performing alongside music students and encouraging them to think outside the box with their classical instruments. And it's incredible just hearing the cello rock music that they do. So
I like that kind of music. There's another band called Old Crow Medicine Show.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, if you look on the wall right here, this is a poster from the Grand Ole Opry when Meg and I were in Nashville, and they were the headliners. That's where the country artists go, and they just like, you'll get a superstar there one night because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
But they're kind of same thing. They have violins, and I don't know if they have a cello, but that kind of music,
Yeah.
with the percussion and stuff. Side note, cello has no H in it.
No,
I mean,
not.
the English language
It's
is
so bizarre.
Or is cello not an English word? I feel like it's probably an Italian or something.
You're probably right about
yeah,
that.
I bet it's
actually.
not an English word.
Yeah,
but
like
it's and I did
fettuccine. It's not fettuccine noodles. It's
right.
Fettuccine.
Well, when I saw that, I was like, someone spelled this wrong, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably me that think it's spelled wrong.
Cellists, you know.
Anyways, so we're gonna play this. Let us know where this is from, and you win nothing but our respect
and mad props.
Okay. Oh, I better turn the mic on. Mic off. Mic radio on. No volume.
Are you on the struggle bus over there?
If you don't get it at the first, 10 seconds.
Percussionist starting in the background.
How? I can't even hear that. Now you can hear it.
And it's all hand drums.
Oh, is it? Don't worry, it's only a 17-minute song.
So good.
Yeah, very good.
So they also covered, let's see, I don't know any of these songs, but you probably would, maybe. Welcome Home, I Will, Sweet Six.
I would know them?
I don't know.
I mean, I'd have to look at them.
They did a bunch of covers, which is pretty cool. And then they have, obviously, a lot of original music. So are you going to tell them where they could have heard that from?
No, I want them to tell. I mean,
you want them to guess?
We can tell them. It's fine. If we're going to tell them, then I'm going to play the next song.
Well, they have been featured on Game of Thrones. And also...
Wait, they're not... That's not them, actually. They're just doing the cover, right?
I think they're just doing the cover.
Although...
But Game of Thrones uses their music, I think.
Oh. Well, then they're not doing a cover. If
you said you heard that song on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are they covering the original, or are they the ones that do it?
That song that was just playing, I'm pretty sure it was them. But then they did a cover of the theme song.
Yeah, it says Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'll play that one, but I would have to look at it. I can't believe they'd be the maybe. I don't know.
No, it's Sugar, another good band, but I guess they covered that one too.
Yeah, they can't be the original.
They're not.
And you don't watch the show, do you?
Nope.
So this doesn't mean anything to you.
It's a good song.
You need to watch the show. Okay.
So anyway, I guess I was mistaken. It was
very much so.
I know. I can admit it when I'm wrong, so that's good. But they just cover Game of Thrones songs, but then they do have a lot of original stuff too. That is, I think, even better.
I really like. Maybe this Christmas we'll play it, but when bands do covers, I had that one band. I had their CDs around here over wherever, but they did a cover of The Grinch.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like rock. Well, I think I played it for you.
Yeah, it's always cool just to hear their different perspective and take on the songs.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. I'd love to check those people out. I'll have to look them up online, see where if they're touring or anything. But so what else we got? Is that it?
That's all I have.
Man,
now that it's 11 o'clock.
I know, but we didn't really start recording until like 9:30.
Yeah, but
no, this was a good episode. I think we touched on some sensitive subjects, and it was fun. I kind of like it's just a different perspective on talking about news, and
a little bit more open-ended.
Yeah, kind of see where you go with articles and stuff like that. So work on a couple more segmented episodes with some interviews. Nothing lined up, but I'm working on a few. I've sent out a few messages, but they have been read but not responded to.
Of course. Well, we've got an exciting show coming up.
We do?
At some point. With our advertising.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a special guest.
Yeah,
special guest.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I didn't know if that was allowed.
No, so so Eric Zane,
I think I'm more excited about this than you are.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it. Like,
why?
I don't know. It's like a weird. I'm like a fan. So
yeah, I guess I'd be nervous.
I've listened to him for years.
I'm a new fan.
Right, years, and I mean, like a decade. Like
that was him.
A long time ago. Yeah, and so I think I'm drawn to him because he reminds me a lot of me, because he was always the pop-off guy. He's always edgy. He always kind of pushes it to the limit, and sometimes it goes too far, and it happens. And
you don't ever go too far.
Never. So, yeah, so he unfortunately was fired from that show after a few incidents, and then got another show on WBBL, and he was there for about 3 years. It ebbed and flowed. He had a co-host named Ben, was great. I mean, he was starting to get better towards the end, and I'm not exactly sure why they got fired, but they kind of changed the whole format of that station.
What was it before?
Well, it's a sports station, which is very odd. So it would be him in the morning, and then it would be Dan Patrick.
Did he talk about sports?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Right. So it was kind of a weird fit.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with him, but yeah, so we decided to do some advertising with him. So you'll hear our podcast talked about on him, and then he's going to do an interview with us, and then we're going to sit down with one of his episodes and do a long form interview. So
yeah, it'll be awesome.
I'm super freaked out about it. I'm not going to lie. Like, because I've just kind of been a fan. So it's going to be weird to actually, I've seen him at the hockey games. I've seen him at the gym. He works out a lot at the same gym Megan does. And I just sometimes am there to pick kids up, maybe not to work out. So it's just kind of it'll be surreal. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. And my buddy Dave, this is going to be, I'm telling you right now, if you're in on this is going to be a long podcast. I mean, this is going to be hours.
Yeah.
It could break the record. So,
I mean, Brandy's is the record, isn't it? Or is it Tizma?
I think I don't know. I'll have to look. Yeah. Those are pretty close.
Yeah.
I get
both awesome.
I know. I could have talked to Brandy forever.
There are so many good one-liners in there that she had.
I know.
She's blown away.
And she's super witty and just, yeah.
I think it'd be awesome to have Brandy when we have Eric on. Have them both.
Really?
Have 4. Yeah. It'd be a fun dynamic.
I don't know about that.
Okay. It was just an idea.
Yeah. We can talk about that. I kind of want to give it its special little thing.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm super nerding out about that.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so that's coming down the pipe. So
yeah, we've got some exciting things in the works. We're we're going to continue with the I'm a Christian But series.
Yeah.
That's in the works as well. We don't want that to just be a one episode thing. Our last topic was I'm a Christian, but I cuss occasionally.
I don't think the word occasionally was there.
But I cuss. There you go. I'm a Christian, but I cuss.
But I may cuss every day.
Yeah. Like a sailor.
Ben. We kind of play this game, who drops the first F-bomb in the morning. It was Ben today. I was like, oh my goodness. And then
Pastor Ben dropped the F.
Our buddy Jesper did the second one. I'm like, what's going on? My world is topsy-turvy.
Usually it's Jason
right
out of the gate.
Right.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking. I think one of the things that we had tossed around was I'm a Christian, but I'm gay.
Yeah.
Or I'm a Christian, but I fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So
we've kind of had those two things in our head, but we haven't really brainstormed on some other ones.
But there's definitely a lot of things that are taboo for the church sometimes, and we want to explore those. Like the whole theme of this podcast is life unfiltered.
Yeah,
and we want to be unfiltered in every aspect. And for us, our faith is a big part of our life, and we want to kind of inspect and pull back the covers on some of these taboo issues and talk about them.
Remove some threads.
Yeah, I like
to make some more threads.
There you go. So that's kind of what's coming up. You know, stuff with Eric Zane, super exciting. Continuing that series that we started with Brandy. This is very much an experimental podcast. Whatever we feel like, we just kind of bring it onto the show and see what sticks.
Yeah, that's hard for me too, because I'm like I want to do, this is how you do it.
But you're the one who said, let's try this new open format.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, I think why I'm doing it, because I'm struggling with answering some of your questions of like, where's your God moment, or where's your, and not that that's wrong. It's actually kind of good that that's happening. So I'm just using my manipulative, charming skills to say, hey, let's take a different direction. So
I like it. I'm open to it.
All right. We're done.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening. Jason's bladder has got to be emptied.